So if you're younger, right, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, around that age, it's going to be time for you to utilize what you have and develop things that you have that are going to attract wealthy people. Because again, if you want to be successful, you have to have people around you who are also successful, right? They say you're the sum of the 5 people that you're around the most, or the 5 people that you aspire to be the most. And you want those people around you at all times, right? So this is going to work if you're in your 20s and early 30s. If you're older than that, you're going to need to use some other things. But if you're younger, you're in a good position, because at this point in time, it's not about what you think, right? So what I want to start with are the 2 things that people think, or actually the one thing that people think that wealthy people are attracted to, right? So tangible. When people think of tangibility, they think of like luxury cars, watches, and just overall money, right? They think that wealthy people are attracted to the tangible things. Here's the reality. Here's how you have to understand the mindset of a wealthy person. Money means nothing to them. They already have it. They have lots of it, right? They're used to having that. So they don't even put that on a pedestal the way that you might be doing right now, right? And the reality is, a lot of people try to flash how much money they have or how much money that they're making to people who are making far more money than them. And it comes off as you don't understand the game. You don't understand like that person, right? They can't relate to you. They see you as like a newbie. Like you don't really understand life and you don't understand how to communicate with them. They will disconnect from you. What they'll do, they'll shake your hand and say, "Hey man, it was nice to meet you." That's it. Right? They're not going to further on give you their contact information. They're not going to ask you any more questions. They're going to keep it brief and keep it moving. And in their mind, they've already shut you off because you came to them flashing something that they literally don't even care about. And also, you're a dot in their universe when it comes to that. You haven't made nearly as much money as they've made in their lifetime. And typically, these people are older, right? So when these people are older, they have different values. Next, watches. They're like, "Oh, get a Rolex," and a lot of people will pay attention to you. Yeah, the wrong people will pay attention to you. The people who don't have that yet, right? Or the people who just got it, who are still on their journey. You want to attract the people who've already done these things. So watches aren't going to do it, right? Luxury cars. "Oh, let me get a Lambo. If I get a Lambo, then I'll be able to get into these groups with these people." Potentially true. But let's be real, that still doesn't impress anybody who has a lot of money. They don't care about that. They already can afford like 10 of those by the time they finish lunch tomorrow. So it's really stupid to even think like, okay, let me just get luxury cars. So that's not it either, right? The tangibles that I just mentioned, these 3 tangibles and even more of those, the things that you can physically see, material things, anything material, they don't care about. That's what a lot of people mess up with. They think that these people care about that, but they don't, right? So tangibles, no. What they care about are the intangibles. This is very important, so you have to pay attention. So intangibles, meaning your discipline, your physique, which is technically tangible, but again, it's intangible when it comes to how you're not going to be walking around shirtless in front of them, right? You're going to be wearing something. So really it is your presence. I don't know if I spelled that right, but I guess that's correct. Your presence is basically how you walk in the room. Do you have a strong aura? Are you somebody who you command attention in a room? This can tie into your physique as well. I'll go into each of these in detail. So your presence and also your ambition, right? Your ambition. And your skill sets. Right? These are the main things. Your discipline, your presence, your ambition, and your skill sets. Those are the things that are going to impress them to want to be able to keep you in their circle. So I'll give you a quick story. Like when I was younger, when I was in the like in-person training space, like I was a personal trainer, I was training people in person at private gyms and stuff like that. I was getting a lot of high net worth clients, wealthy people, right? When I was doing this, I was attracting them because of these 4 things, right? So when it comes to discipline, let's erase this because we don't need tangibility. That's what I wanted you to understand in the beginning. It has nothing to do with any of the material things that you strive for. That's not going to get you far with these people, right? What's going to get you far, and also I even forgot to mention your charisma. Main things as well, right? So when it comes to discipline, it's essentially, what do you do, right? How do you live your life? What are your values? What are the things that you stand by, right? So your discipline could mean waking up early to get tasks done, saying no to alcohol. By the way, a lot of people think, well, I need to drink a whiskey glass so I can be around people who are of higher stature, right? It'll actually make you stand out more if you say no to those things in those environments when you go to a high-end place or you go have lunch with somebody who has a lot of money. It will make you stand out so much more if you say no to that and you explain why. Oh no, like I'm on a fitness journey, or I'm really just improving my mind, I'm improving my health, I'm making sure that I'm good. Saying no to that will actually put you at a higher caliber than if you just say yes to every little thing, right? You maybe want to have the worst food on the menu, right? You order like something that's super high in just like polyunsaturated fats. You're over here like eating like all kinds of the worst things, right? And you'll see that wealthy person might get something that's a little healthier. They may get like a huge salad, or they may get like grilled chicken breast with something. They're always health conscious when it comes to these types of people. So saying no to something like alcohol will also make you stand out, because a lot of these people, some of them are alcoholics, I'm not going to lie to you, but a lot of them are also people who have rejected alcohol for a long time because it's put them in a bad position in their previous lives, right? So they'll be able to relate to you if you say no to that. Waking up early, right? When it comes to discipline, it's all about figuring out like what's going to be constant in my life that I'm going to do every single day that's going to allow for me to achieve my goals. So when you talk to them and they ask you like, hey, like, because they're going to ask you questions that are coded, right? So these questions that are coded, they're not direct, but they're questions that'll be able to help them understand each of these things in that matter the most to them, right? So discipline is one: waking up early, saying no to alcohol, going to the gym, right? Reading. This is very interesting because even reading, every single person that I know that's wealthy reads, and they value somebody who reads books and can give them new recommendations of books. So when it comes to reading, the most important thing you have to do is you have to go online, go to goodreads.com if you need to, look through books that aren't just Atomic Habits or Think and Grow Rich, these basic books that are mainstream. You want to go basically to the point where you're going for books that people have not heard of before. I'm really good at doing this. A lot of the books that I have, a lot of people have not heard of. So when you start to recommend these books, they'll probably ask you, what books are you reading, right? Or you can ask them, hey, what books are you reading? These are great questions to ask them that's going to show them who you are as a person, and they'll be able to dictate whether or not you have the intelligence to even carry a conversation with them, or whether you have the nuance to be able to carry a conversation with them, right? Going to the gym is important. A lot of wealthy people do value going to the gym. Again, this is how I was able to make money when I was younger. When I was in college, I was training these guys, right? So obviously they care about the gym, they care about their bodies, they care about all of that stuff, right? So you have to understand that this intangible scope of discipline is very important. A lot of them, they take cold baths or ice baths and stuff like that. They have that stuff in their house. They have saunas. They have all these things. They really care about the discipline. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? Why are you waking up early, right? Are you waking up early to work on your business? Are you waking up early to read? Are you waking up early to improve yourself? You're young, right? So they want to see discipline in you, because if you are undisciplined, then you're not going to be able to stay in their circles, and you're not going to be a valuable person to them. By going to the gym, by building a physique, you will demonstrate discipline right away. When you first walk in the room, you will demonstrate discipline. So it's important to get your physique on par, because they do care about that when you're younger, right? So that's discipline. The next is going to be presence, right? And this falls hand in hand with going to the gym, of course, right? Presence. How you walk into a room. Are your shoulders back? Do you have broad shoulders? Do you have a V-taper, right? Are your clothes fitting you properly? Are you somebody that you have confidence, you exude confidence in yourself, right? Which also ties into charisma, but it also ties into the physical side of things, right? Do you have that look in your eye that you're on a mission, right? You have something that's going on in your life that's important. You don't have dead eyes. You don't have eyes that are just like lifeless, right? Do you have a strong life force? That's your presence, right? When you walk into a room. The next thing you have to understand is obviously your clothing, right? Are you wearing street clothing because you're hiding your physique, or you just kind of want to like be in fashion? You want to basically mask the fact that you are a certain way physically, so you wear all these baggy clothes, or are you well tailored? Are you wearing clothes that fit you? Are you wearing clothes that accentuate your physique? This is very important as well, your presence, right? Do you shake their hand, right? Shaking hands. Do you have a strong grip or do you have a weak grip? If you have a strong grip, they know that you have a strong presence. Believe it or not, these are things that most people don't understand, but they will. Every wealthy person, anybody who's successful, will shake your hand to measure how strong you truly are, right? They will see your grip strength. They will see if you literally shake their hand like a pussy. They'll know, and they'll stop talking to you because you're soft. Wealthy people don't like soft people, especially when you're young. You're not supposed to be soft when you're young. You're supposed to be strong. So you have to have really, really good presence when you go into a room. You have to be bright, right? You have to have a bright energy. If you don't have a bright energy, then nobody's going to want to be around you, right? You're not positive. You don't have positive thoughts. Your self-image reflects your outside reality. The way that you present yourself reflects from your self-image. How do you feel about yourself, right? Are you confident, right? Are you confident in yourself, in your abilities? And the best way to increase your confidence is to increase your confidence is to increase your competence, right? So you have to, again, that ties into skill sets. All this stuff melds together. But again, you have to understand how this works. So this presence is very important because that's going to basically be your first impression. And very wealthy people, they value first impressions. You can destroy a potential relationship with someone who is wealthy if you have a terrible first impression. Right? The next is ambition. Again, you do not need to be rich. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be super successful to attract somebody who is hyper successful. They're looking for somebody with these traits. Ambition, right? What are your goals? They're going to ask you that. What are you working on? What are you doing? What do you do for work? How do you live? And they'll ask you indirectly. They'll ask you indirect questions. Like, yeah, man, what does your day-to-day look like? And you're over here sitting here saying, oh, well, I don't really do much. I just kind of chill at home, whatever. Goals. What are your goals? What are you working towards every day? Are you building a business? Are you improving your health by going to the gym consistently? Are you trying to build yourself in a specific way? Right? Because by the way, wealthy people have goals too. They may not have wealth goals, but they have physical goals, right? They have health goals. They have relationship goals, right? What are your relationship goals? What are you looking to accomplish, right? Goals. The next, tenacity. How aggressively are you going after those goals? Are you somebody who just sits there and you make slow decisions, right? What have you invested in? Have you invested in the stock market, right? For yourself? Have you invested in yourself? Have you had a mentor? Have you worked with people before? Have you went to seminars? Have you went to all these things? These are questions, these are things that are going to arise in your conversations with these wealthy people. And it's all a barometer of your potential scope of success and how they even could potentially help you, who they can connect you to in their circle, because wealthy people are very well networked. So they can literally point you. I've had this happen to me multiple times. They'll know what my goals are and they'll point me to a person who aligns with those goals and can help me achieve it even more, right? So you have to have tenacity. They have to see that you're actually putting in the work. The second you finish introducing yourself to them and they give you their information, you're literally texting them maybe a week later. Hey, I just achieved this specific goal. Thank you for that conversation. It really helped me, right? Tenacity, right? Making sure that you're attacking your goals. You're attacking your ambitions. You're not letting indecisiveness hold you down. Wealthy people do not like indecisive people because indecisive people are slow and they're typically unsuccessful, right? So you have to understand tenacity is the next one. The next one you have to understand is consistency, which also falls into discipline. How consistent are you? Are you showing up consistently? Are you reaching out to them consistently, giving them updates? Because wealthy people always want to know updates once they give you their information, their contact information. They want you to update them on your progress. They might give you a book to read. I've had this happen. I've had a billionaire. I got introduced to him. First thing he asked me was, "What's your favorite book?" Right? Then he gave me a book recommendation. He was like, "Go read this book." Now, me, if I was somebody who didn't understand the psychology and the dynamics of socializing with wealthy people, I would have never texted him back, right? I probably wouldn't have even read the book. But the fact that I read the book and I gave him a summary of what I learned from that book, he now realizes that, again, there's ambition here. He wants to be successful. So I want to have him around. I need that energy. Wealthy people need youthful energy that shows that you're actually attacking life at its highest levels. Even if you're not successful yet, even if you're broke, even if you don't have anything. I've literally attracted these people when I had nothing. I had no money. I didn't even know what I was going to do the following month. I was very, very young. I didn't know what I was doing, right? But I had goals. I had ambitions. I had things that I was consistently doing. I went to the gym consistently. I was posting they follow you on social media now, right? Social media is literally just your resume, just in real life, right? So now you're getting to a point where you're showing consistently. Every story I'd be training in the gym, and these same wealthy people who have very unassuming social media profiles would be viewing my stories all the time, would be reacting and saying, "Bro, that's amazing. You're inspiring me," right? You're inspiring them with your ambition, because here's the thing with wealthy people, they get to a certain point where their ambition dulls down. They don't have the same ambition that they used to have when they were younger, when they didn't have the money that they had. So they want to be able to live through a youthful force, which is you, right? So ambition is the next one. Next is skill sets, right? This is so important, guys. I'm trying to tell you this right now. What are your skill sets? What are you naturally good at? What are your proclivities, right? You have to develop a skill set. You cannot be a man without a skill. If you don't have a skill, you're useless in society and you don't provide any value to anybody. For me, when I was younger, my skill set that came to me without me even figuring it out, without me even trying to get there, what I was naturally inclined to was physiology, right? That was the one thing I was naturally inclined to. So figure out what it is, right? Figure out what high income skills you can develop, or what skills can help with health, wealth, or relationships, right? So figure out what is that thing. For me, it was physiology, right? And nutrition. This took me a long way because I was able to build a business around it. And I have a business around it now. And it helped me a lot with networking with these people because, again, that's a skill set that they need, right? Look, internet skills, marketing. Here's the truth. A lot of wealthy people, they would love to have a presence. They may have businesses that need marketing. And if you're somebody who's a pro at marketing, they can hire you for that, or they can ask you for advice, right? It's the same with physiology and nutrition. I spelled that wrong. Nutrition. They felt insecure about their physiques. They wanted to get better. They wanted to improve their relationships through building their body. They wanted their wife to look at them in a better way. So they would literally come to me and ask me for fitness advice, which would then turn into a consultation, which would then turn into a high-paying client, paying me thousands of dollars a month to help them do that, right? So that skill set helped me a lot with the networking and also the making money part. So you have to have skills. Marketing helps, right? You can manage their social media platforms. You can help them grow a social media platform. A lot of them now want that because they understand personal branding is important. That's why you're seeing a lot of these wealthier people jumping on podcasts now. Gone are the days where you're just sitting in the shadows and you don't have a social presence. People don't know you globally. You have to build a brand. So marketing is very important as well, right? Sales. Another underrated skill set, right? Underrated skill set because one, you don't need any money to start this. It's all about how your conversational skills are, how your communication skills are, and you can utilize this to basically help them grow their companies. So they'll be able to hire you as a salesperson. That's why a lot of salespeople get very rich and they get very strong networks because they work under these wealthy people who then take them on as a mentor for free because they have this skill set that helps them make even more money, right? It's not about money. It's about your skill set. It's about what value do you actually provide. So you have to understand how these work, right? It's fitness, marketing, sales. What other skill set can you do? Any skill set, anything that you're naturally good at, right? Marketing can also be social media. Social media is great. If they know that you're really good at social media, you're an asset, right? You have to be an asset to these people. So figure out what your skill set is. And it's usually something that you literally are just naturally good at, and you just need some more information to improve. And then from there, you can become an expert in that space. Last but not least, charisma, right? Can you charm them? Are you funny? Can you make them laugh, right? Wealthy people like jokes. They like locker room talks. Can you talk about these different things, right? Can you make them entertained for a little bit of time? Are you a person that they would want to be stuck in an elevator with? If you're not going to have them in your network whatsoever. They're going to say, hey, nice to meet you. Hope to see you around, right? They'll just tell you that and just walk away. And you'll think that you had a win, but in reality, they were literally writing you off in the most subtle way possible, right? So funny, right? Also, your looks. Again, this goes into the whole fitness thing I've been telling you, right? It's a status symbol. You have a great physique. Your face is lean, right? You're well groomed to a certain extent. Your looks matter. So they're going to see you. They're going to see you as an attractive character, and they're going to want to be around you because you give them that confidence because you're already that guy. So you have to have that, right? Communication. Can you articulate yourself? Do you sound like an Atlanta rapper, right? Oh yeah, bro, I'm cool, man. I'm just chilling. No, write you off immediately, right? Can you articulate your words? Can you articulate a vision that you have? Can you take thoughts in your mind and be able to verbalize them in a way that they can clearly understand? And can you actually articulate your words to where they can understand your speech? And you will be a lot more attractive to them, right? They're going to want you around because they know that the quality of your mind is strong. The quality of what goes through your mind is something that's valuable that they need to have around, right? Communication, looks, being funny, very, very important skills, right? And also, like, knowledge. Ty Lopez, right? But no, knowledge is important because, and I think I spelled this wrong. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But knowledge is important because, to be honest, most people don't have knowledge. Most people don't study different fields. I like to study all kinds of things so I can give a wealthy person a history lesson that they probably already know, but they're thankful that somebody else understands that. I can tie parallels together of different things that don't really like come together, but still they sound unique, right? Like fitness, I have knowledge on that. I have knowledge on different books. I have knowledge on the internet, marketing. I have knowledge on sales. You can tie so many things together if you just have knowledge, and it shows that you're charismatic because you're not just one track minded. You're not a one trick pony. You know many different things in different areas, and it makes you unique, right? So those are the intangibles that they need. And now I'm going to give you some interesting pointers that you have to understand with wealthy people that can help you a lot that not many people talk about, right? They don't talk about these things. So when you're attracting wealthy people, when you're actually speaking to them, you have to understand that they have flaws, right? I learned this by actually training these wealthy people in person and seeing literally them cower like a baby doing a specific weight that I had them do. So I know that they have flaws. They can have physical flaws. They don't like how they look, right? They can have relationship flaws. They can have any type of flaw, to be honest. But these are the main two that they always look for counsel in, right? So you're not helping them make more money, to be honest. You're helping them get a new perspective, and you're giving them something on the other side of non-tangibles that they need, right? So you have to figure out what their flaws are. These are the two main ones that I've seen, at least in my dealings with these types of people, right? They may have social flaws, right? They may have social flaws. Maybe they're not the greatest speaker sometimes, right? Maybe they need some level of energy to be able to be the life of the environment that they're in, right? So they have these flaws. You have to understand that they're flawed people, and they're just like you. They just put in a lot more work to get to where they needed to go, and they put in a lot more time than you. You're going to get there, but it's going to take time. So you can't see yourself as less than, because the minute that you see yourself as less than is the minute that they write you off. So you don't want to have that. You don't want to give them that perception whatsoever, right? The next unique thing that I didn't realize until recently that really makes wealthy people attracted to you is freedom. The truth is, you don't need to be rich. You don't. But you need to have some level of freedom because it's attractive, right? You need to, maybe you have an online business, right? You're not chained to an office. So they can literally call you at any time. They can have lunch with you. They can do whatever. They're like, man, this dude really has freedom to do whatever he wants. You can get that, especially with the internet nowadays. You can build an online business and you can be able to work from wherever you want, whenever you want, and you can live a very good life, right? A lot of these guys, they may be trapped in a high role in an organization where they're still working like slaves and they desire freedom and they don't have that yet. So if you have that, you're giving them something that they don't have. You're giving them that type of energy, that freedom energy, right? So it comes with location freedom. They see you traveling. They see you going to different places, right? They can't go to different places because they may be tied to a family, right? So they want to be able to live through that with you, right? You have time freedom, which they typically have, but it's even inspiring when you're young and you also have that. You have health freedom, right? You're in really good shape. You have no ailments. You don't go to the doctor every 2 weeks because you have something that comes up. They don't have these freedoms, by the way. A lot of them are very unhealthy, right? Because they didn't take care of themselves, right? You have freedom of expression to a certain extent. You can express yourself, be eccentric with caution, of course. You don't want to be like some crazy dude, but like freedom of expression is basically like, bro, you can wear certain clothing that stands out. That's obviously not like out of the blue weird, but like you just look good, right? You're free in yourself. You have security in yourself, right? You can freely express your thoughts. And you have confidence that they'll be able to understand and be able to retain that. This is very important, is freedom. They want to be able to see a young man be free because it's going to inspire them. So you have to understand that correctly, right? And the next thing you have to do, man, like you cannot, like I said before, don't put them on a pedestal. Don't make it seem like they're better than you, because the reality is they might be better than you. But if you're making it seem like you're on an equal playing field, and it's not being condescending or trying to be above them, but it's literally just seeing them as a human being, right? So see them as human. And this ties into everything. You talk to them like you would talk to a normal human being. You have jokes with them like you joke with a normal human being. You talk to them, you interact with them, you relate to them. You do everything, relate to them on a human level. Don't relate to them on a business level. Don't go the business route when you talk to wealthy people, right? Never go the business route unless they entertain that or unless they introduce that in the conversation. Never talk business. If you've ever been to a gathering with a lot of wealthy people, you might wonder, why are they not talking about business? They're not talking about money. Or if they talk about money, they talk about it in a very different way. They maybe talk about like opportunities in the markets, right? They may talk about certain things. They never talk business right away. Nobody's pitching business ideas to other people at these parties, at these gatherings. No, because they don't care about that. They care about the person. They care about who you are. The business that you want to build, maybe you want them as a client. The only way they're going to want to work with you is if they can relate to you on a human level, right? So never go up to somebody and say, hey man, so yeah, I have this business that I'm doing. I've seen many people do this and they fail every single time. Older people even, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, I have this business idea that I'm doing. Like I need $250,000. Like, are you interested? And the guy's like, no man, I'm good. Thank you so much, right? They'll write you off because all you're doing is they see you as somebody who's just desperate for profit. You have to never talk about it. Always be even keel. I don't even know how to spell even keel, but always be even, right? Which means you're never too up, you're never too down. You're even keel, right? Which basically means that when you start to make money, like serious money, you're not over here saying, oh yeah, bro, I just made like 10K a month. I just made 20K, because reality, that means nothing to them because they've already done that before you even woke up out of bed, right? They don't care about that. Never be the person who's always down, negative, always talking about how, oh yeah, business sucks right now. Make it seem like everything's okay. Even if you're going through the toughest parts of your life, just make everything seem like it's okay, right? Make everything, just be nonchalant about it. Don't talk about your problems, because nobody cares about your problems. The more that you talk about your problems, the more unattractive you are. So you have to understand that. You have to make sure that you're even all of the time. You're always even keeled. Things are moving smoothly. That has to be shown, even if they're not. Because people will literally discount you because you are complaining about your problems. It sounds like a complaint. It sounds like you're not disciplined. It sounds like you have zero ambition. It sounds like you cannot handle yourself. You're not strong. So you always want to make sure that things are okay, right? Until you get to know them enough to where you can have those conversations and be more vulnerable with them because you've built that relationship. But off rip, you never want to be uneven, right? You never want to seem like you're always up and down. You always want to be even keel, right? It's the same, never talk about business, never talk about all these different, I've made this mistake before where I just talk about, oh yeah, well, I'm doing this. I'm doing this business. I'm doing this business. Oh yeah, I'm also doing this business. What that signals to a wealthy person is that one, you literally have nothing that you're going for. You're just grasping for straws. You're just trying to figure out what you really want to do. And you're kind of like crazy. You're like a chicken with his head cut off. You don't have any discipline. You can't stick with one thing for a long period of time, and they will stop talking to you, right? That's happened to me too, where I'm just like, whoa, how'd the relationship go wrong? Well, because I kept moving around. Every time I'd introduce a new business idea, I'd introduce something new that I was doing. They'd be like, bro, what about the last thing that you were doing? What happened to that? Oh yeah, I stopped doing that because it just was uninteresting. Right off, right? So you always want to be consistent with the business that you're doing. You want to be consistent with the conversations you have with them. Only be vulnerable once they become vulnerable, right? Don't be vulnerable before them, right? And when you are vulnerable, keep it measured and make sure that the conversations run smoothly. This is all you really need to attract wealthy people, by the way, right? And always be around, like, this is a good one. Always be around. And what does this mean? When I mean always be around, be in these events that they're going to. As you start to talk to more people, they're going to invite you to different places. If they see your face consistently, they're going to know that you're somewhat important because someone valued you enough to invite you to a specific event that they're going to. That's happened to me many times. They're like, bro, how are you here? How did you get here? Oh yeah, I know so-and-so. Oh, you know him? That's cool. How did you know him? Like, that's how that conversation works, and they start to build trust in you, especially when they always see your face around, right? Maybe it's the internet. They always see your face on the internet, right? And you're speaking facts. Or maybe you're always at this gathering that they go to, right? That's what matters. All of the material shit that you see, all of these super young e-com guys pushing, that stuff is fleeting, and it only attracts people who don't have it. If you want to attract people who have those things, you need to demonstrate the intangible things that are going to get them interested in you. So I hope you learned a lot from this because this is very important. And like I said, what helped me in the beginning, I'm just going to say it because it's true. This. This is what helped me in the beginning. Physique and strength. Those are the two things that I was able to showcase that got me interesting people to come and actually talk to me. Physique and strength. I looked the part, so icebreaker, I didn't need to break the ice, they broke the ice. Hey bro, what kind of workout do you do? I'm like, bro, where do you train at? Let's train together. Like, oh bro, I'd love to get some help from you. Do you train people? Like you look like a trainer. You get those conversations. Strength, right? Maybe you're in a fighting sport, or maybe you're doing some sort of sport. They admire that because, again, you're doing something that they didn't do, or maybe they did in the past and they wish they could have done more of. These two things will get you in the door right away. That's why I always say high status physique is very important. So you have to be able to dial that in. If you're interested in doing that, if you watched this far, I have a free guide to teach you how to do that yourself and how to actually build your own physique. Get it below. Link is in the description. Again, I appreciate you for watching. I hope this was very helpful for you. Not many people talk about this, but I think it's very important. And I will catch you on the next video. I appreciate you again. There will be more of these videos. I know people ask me about this stuff all the time. So share this with a friend who needs it. Rewatch this if you need to. I know it's long, but it's going to be very helpful for you, especially in the future. Catch you on the next video.